That's the Russell Glacier. There's a big chunk of ice that just broke about a minute ago. Pretty loud thunder. There's Boca Cave. It's right on the side of Triangulation Peak. Has a nice view facing towards this way. Peering down a crevasse. This crevasse is about 100 feet deep. It's actually deeper than that, but it's flooded after a certain point. This right here is actually a arch, an ice arch. Hasn't collapsed yet, but I am able to go down this little side passage here. I of course took a panorama from right here, and as you can see about 15 feet below me, it's pretty flooded. Lovely blue. And you can just look up and see all the shininess. It's kind of cool because you can see all these little veins, I guess you would call them, of blue ice. And this, of course, is the arch that I was talking about. It's holding up pretty tight, but eventually it will collapse. And it looks like there's one right there too. This crevasse is one of many in the lower part of the Jefferson Park Glacier. There was a few that I wanted to explore earlier higher up that were flooded pretty much to the top. This is what I walked down. My bag is at the top there. And as you can see, it just drops straight down. So this is within the crevasse itself, and that's the view we're looking at. That's that natural arch. Wall of ice directly above me. There is actually all water below me, and it's pretty much these big ice blocks here that are why I'm able to walk out to at least here. It gets a little bit more dangerous past that point, and of course, as I indicated earlier, you can see how deep it starts to really get. It's like a slot canyon, all in ice. And if I stoop down, well, it's kind of hard, you can't see, but you can definitely tell that this is a natural bridge. Ice here, pretty clear. You can really see it right there. There's always melting water dripping down, so that's why it looks very shiny. You could stick your tongue against the ice and you won't stick. So this little tunnel here is how I got myself through into the crevasse. By the way, check out this chunk of ice. It's just suspended in awkward fashion. I could have gone through this way, but I didn't want to be underneath this ton of ice. The way it's hanging, it's ready to go at a moment's notice. I mean, you could see the crack and everything. So I threw a bunch of rocks down, not this big one here. I threw a bunch down so that way I could grab a footing and then hoist myself out. There's not really any safe way as far as I'm knowing getting out through that way. Last view of where I wedged through. Right through that little tunnel. Now if you go, let's see, there's a big ice hole right there. Just over the top of this, there's another ice cave. I don't think it goes in too far. Yeah, at least it doesn't go in far enough until it gets flooded. Can't see past that bend. Anyway, this is the big crevasse that I went down in. Climbing out of these mounds of ice. Should be able to come back in view. Where I came from. That's the false summit, Mount Jefferson. Glacier goes all the way to right there. So that is the terminus of the Jefferson Park Glacier. And I'm on the moraine here. Right on the very top is this gigantic boulder. There's another fairly good sized one right here as well. And I just kind of balance myself down the ridge line all the way pretty much to the trees. That's where I'll catch the Pacific Crest Trail, take a left, and reach where I was earlier this morning. Mid to late afternoon is always the best time to photograph glaciers, in my opinion. The lighting is always just nice. August and September is the prime time to really see all the crevasses and not have to deal with any snow or fern. This is the Russell Glacier. It looks like it's dissected into 3 parts. This middle part is the biggest section, and its terminus ends pretty much at the same elevation. Though actually just a little bit lower than the Jefferson Park. You can definitely see where some rocks have landed. That big rock there is probably as big as the one that's right next to me on the moraine. Got glacial striations left by the Russell Glacier. It's all smoothed out. The Russell Glacier has apparently gone all the way down here. You can see all the striations as well as the plucking. Here's a piece of striated rock. It's not really that great, but oh, it broke off right there. And it looks like it kind of streaked along the sides here as well. You can't even see that glacier. Its terminus is probably 3/4 of a mile back. And that's the moraine that I descended. I had to veer to the left, come down because of this giant cliff.